So the saga of Metroid Prime on the Nintendo Switch has been, I think, weird to say the least. Obviously, when the Nintendo Switch debuted, there was talks about Metroid Prime 4 at E3 2017. Metroid Prime 4 got a little teaser snippet, and then that was it. That was it. We, of course, got a subsequent update from the Metroid team about what was going on with the game, and they'd pretty much started from scratch. They decided that whatever company that was working on it originally wasn't doing the game justice, so they gave the game back to Retro Studios, which makes you wonder what Retro Studios was working on in the meantime. But beyond that, it was pretty much rumored that Bandai Namco was the company that was originally working on Metroid Prime 4, which makes no sense. Do you think of first-person adventure and Bandai Namco? Because I sure as hell don't. But beyond that, we of course had other rumors and other sorts of speculation about Metroid Prime, as in bringing the other games over to the Nintendo Switch in some sort of compilation. We of course saw that on the Wii with the Metroid Prime Trilogy Collection. It was also available on the Wii U, but for the Switch, it was kind of like, well, is this coming out? Is this going to be a thing? Obviously, they'd have to HDify the game or something like that. And it was supposed to be at the Game Awards 2018, and then 2019, and then 2020. It got to a point where I was like, I'm not talking about this anymore because this is ridiculous. If you're going to do it, you know, it's like the old saying, you know, there's an Italian saying that we say in English, or get off the pot. Don't just sit there. You know, if you're going to do it, do it. And Nintendo was like, you know what? It's time to drop this deuce. It's time to drop this stinky at the latest Nintendo Direct, because they were like, hey, Metroid Prime Remastered, it's a thing. Hey, Metroid Prime Remastered, it's available today. Hey, Metroid Prime Remastered, you should probably check it out. And I was like, yo, that's crazy, son. Like, you're just doing this out of nowhere? Okay. Nintendo, probably a $60 price point. No, $40. All right, Nintendo, probably digital only. No, physical available in a couple weeks. All right, Nintendo, interesting. Who did this port though? Who did this remaster? Retro Studios. Okay, you're hitting all the check boxes here. You're hitting all the check marks. But Metroid Prime really was a fantastic game. It was one of the greatest games of the year when it came out. It was a graphical showcase for the Nintendo GameCube. It's been about 20 years plus since that game came out. It's not gonna look that good. What did you do? Just put an HD filter on it? And no, they didn't. Metroid Prime Remastered, which is the name of the game, it's the actual title of the name, is an actual remaster from Nintendo and Retro Studios. And I don't recall ever seeing a remaster from Nintendo, this being their first one, where they actually called the game Remastered. You could talk about stuff like Skyward Sword HD, but I felt like they did not think of that game as a remaster. They thought of that as, like, you know, an improved version of the game to the point of where it was $60, whereas this is $40. But what did they actually do to Metroid Prime Remastered in this edition for the Nintendo Switch? Is it simply the GameCube game with just HDified, you know, just upscaled to make the game look better on modern consoles, you know, modern televisions, and of course things like the OLED? As far as the gameplay is concerned, they didn't change a thing. It's Metroid Prime. You know, they did include a new dual stick sort of control scheme that feels more like a modern first-person shooter, and holy crap, it feels absolutely amazing. Now, as far as new content is concerned, there isn't any new content, but all the original control schemes from the original version of the game are there, including the ability to use a single Joy-Con to sort of aim around and use motion controls. So if you were a big fan of the Wii version of this game that released, you can play it with motion controls, which I think is a huge win. They didn't subtract anything when they added in the second, you know, analog stick control scheme to make it more modern. They simply just added it in on top of everything. So I thought that was really cool. Once you boot up this game though, you quickly realize something. And this is no hyperbole. And I will challenge, if you want to debate me on this, we can debate all you want. This is one of the top 5% best looking Nintendo Switch games by far. And it's because they didn't just do a simple, you know, HD filter on what was already there. They actually redid most of the textures in the game to be HD textures, and it makes a world of difference. If you have a side-by-side comparison of the GameCube original and the Nintendo Switch version, it is night and freaking day as to which is the newer version, which is indeed the Switch version. Things just look so much better. The game, of course, originally ran at 60 frames per second. It still runs at 60 frames per second. The character models have been touched up as well, and everything that made that game special, everything that made that game stand out as far as the visual standpoint of it, still holds up today because they did it properly. You know, the little stuff like this, the rain falling on your visor, it still looks impressive because they've redone that. The condensation that builds up on your visor as well when you're in a hot area, or, you know, the freezing stuff when you're in a cold area. Like, it's amazing. Base game still looks great, but it's amazing how they took the base game, put in HD textures, and just made it a gorgeous looking game. Playing this game on the Switch OLED, which is where I played most of it, it took my breath away. I would say it's the best looking Switch OLED game in terms, because you know exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes you get that Vaseline smear, and it's like, they it's all pixelated, all this, that, and the other. That's running at 720p 60 on the Switch screen, and everything on the OLED screen, and everything looks crisp, everything looks amazing. The colors pop so well. There's like no artifacting going on or anything like that. It legitimately looks stunning, and I don't know what sort of witchcraft they did to make this look as good as it does. But if this is what we need to do, if we need to take GameCube games, classic GameCube games, and I'm looking at a bunch of them right here, and just HD the textures and improve things, like add in a dual control scheme for a dual analog stick. If that's what we need to do, that's what we should do on the Switch. If that's how we can make great looking games on this system, because I'll be real with you, like, I've sort of had a bit of a falling out with my Switch lately. I definitely have not been playing it as much as I have been. You know, usually I check out everything on the Switch. Recently, I've been playing some Fire Emblem Engage, but beyond that, I've just had no desire to play my Switch. I've been playing my Xbox Series X. I've been playing my PlayStation 5, but this game brought me back. And I haven't even talked about the gameplay of the game, because the gameplay of the game, I feel like everyone sort of understands it. You know, this was the first time they took the Metroidvania style game that we saw with Super Metroid, where you have to explore and there's limits on where you can go until you get certain items and, you know, certain abilities for your suit, and then you could go back and go into those areas. This is the game that took it into a 3D area. This is a game that got rid of the 2D atmosphere and made it, you know, 3D, and because of that, it really just opened up the world as far as what you could do, you know, scanning everything with your scan visor and learning the story of the Chozo, you know, on the Talon planet. It's just so interesting because it doesn't force feed it to you. Like, you don't have to get into the details of what happened to the world and why the world is the way it is. You could simply just be like, oh, okay, I need to find this, that, and the other. I need to find this item in order to progress. I need to fight this boss battle. I need to go to this area. But if you want more, you can get more out of it. I honestly feel like this is one of the most impressive Switch games I've played. And obviously I've played a lot of Switch games. You can look at my review catalog, and there's been a ton of games that I haven't reviewed. But the fact that Nintendo did a standard remaster, they didn't price gouge it, they just did $40. They're doing a physical edition of it as well. It completely came out of nowhere, and Retro Studios knocked it out of the freaking park. Nothing about this half-assed. This is a must-buy game for the Switch. Point blank, period. We're sitting here talking about stuff, you know, like the $70 stuff for Tears of the Kingdom. Why is that the case? And, you know, I don't know that Nintendo will ever come out and say that's why that reasoning was. We just have to sort of, you know, speculate. But with this, once again, much like the whole Game Boy, and I'm not saying that the Tears of the Kingdom being $70 is a bad thing. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying, though, is when Nintendo does good things, and they do awesome stuff that's completely out of left field that nobody was expecting, you need to applaud them, you need to reward them, and you need to, you know, champion for this. Because that's how we get better things for our system. The Nintendo Switch Online got a huge kick in the ass with the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance stuff. The library of the Nintendo Switch just got... now I can't... I've put down Harry Potter, the Hogwarts Legacy, to replay Metroid Prime. Because it's been a very long time since I've completely played through the game, but playing through it with modern controls and these beautiful visuals. It's a great job. It's a great job, and it's a must buy for Nintendo Switch owners. I hope this game sells ridiculously well. I want this game to sell well over 3 million. I want this game to outsell Dread. Like, that's how much I enjoy it. And Dread's a great game, don't get me wrong. But this, man, this just hits. This just hits, and it hits hard, and it does not let up. One of the best games of all time gets an amazing HD treatment, and we're not talking about something from Sony. We're not talking about something from Microsoft. We're talking about something from Nintendo. Holy shit. Keep this up. Give us more proper remasters like this. Look at the game. Dude, no Super Mario Sunshine. Give me an HD Luigi's Mansion. Give me an HD Geist. You know, like just do it up, man. Do it up, because this is a great way for Nintendo to not only pad out their library, but keep people happy. Because this game brought me back into my Switch, and now I can't stop playing the damn thing. Let me know in the comments section down below if you have picked up Metroid Prime Remastered. If not, what the hell is wrong with you? You need to buy this game. I'm probably gonna double dip. I want a physical copy of the game as well, because it's amazing, dude. Like, it's literally amazing. If you have an OLED, when you boot this up on your OLED, you're gonna be like, what? Excuse me? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share, hit the bell notification as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.